Hello, hello, hello. TM24 here, and we are back with some more Marvel Snap content. Now, we recently picked up Stature, so I tossed her into a deck here, and I'm trying to find out, is she good or not? What type of decks can we use her in, and how much value does she actually bring? So, this is the list I'm going with. I've got the Hood, Titania as our 1-drops, Goose Armor as our 2, 3 drops are Killmonger and Maximus, 4 drops are Shuri, Shang-Chi, 5 are Taskmaster, Stature, and Black Bolt, and then our only 6 drop is going to be She-Hulk. So, kind of the idea here is we can go a couple of different routes, right? Goose is going to be great in this deck because we're able to get a lot of power at low cost. So we've got Titania, we've got the Demon, we've got Stature, we've got She-Hulk. So we're going to try and win a lane with Goose. Additionally, we have other power available to us. So we've got Shuri to maybe buff a Black Bolt, or maybe a She-Hulk into Taskmaster, Titania turn 6. There's a couple of different ways that we can go here. Of course, the idea is to try and use Stature to see what we can do with her. But, we're trying to win as well. So this is the deck we've got. And overall, I will say, Stature feels a little bit... I don't know if tough is the right word, but I'm not sure, what type of value she's actually bringing, right? You've got to make sure your opponent discards something. So in this instance, you're playing, you've got to play Black Bolt. Otherwise, Stature's just going to be a 5/7, which is really, really underwhelming. So you've got to get Black Bolt down in this deck. And then that would mean turn 6, you've got a 1-cost Stature with hopefully, a Titania, a Demon, and, maybe you got a Shang-Chi or a Maximus, something like that. So with this deck in particular, what I was looking at was, how are my final turns going to play out? What is going to be, that play line? So one route that I saw was 4 Shuri, 5 Black Bolt. You've got a 16 power Black Bolt on top of that Shuri lane. Ideally, you've got Stature in your hand to give you that, that 1-cost 7 power. So 4 Shuri, 5 Black Bolt, with 6 being, potentially Taskmaster, Stature, or maybe Stature, Titania, Demon, Maximus, something like that. Additionally, because we've got Shuri, we could also just go, turn 4 Shuri, skip turn 5, turn 6 She-Hulk, Taskmaster. You've got that's the plain old, the Shuri of old days. Maybe it's not as good as it once was, but you've got that play line available to you as well. So I like to have decks that have, a lot of ways to win. And I feel like this one, it gives you a few different ways to win, but it doesn't always feel like they're always available to you. Just for instance, if you don't hit Black Bolt and then a 5-cost Stature in your hand, it doesn't feel very good. It doesn't feel very strong. Now, I did run into a lot of times where I had a cheap She-Hulk, a Demon, a Titania, as you're seeing here, that I can just slam all of those down. And even if he went Destroyer here, like he did, we're still going to outpace him because of how much power we're able to get down. We put 20 power with those 3 cards. So this deck, you've got a bunch of different combinations, but I'm not sure how valuable Stature is in it. You can see here, I'm scrolling over the Black Bolt. Now, I think he provides a little bit of value. This is the first time I've been able to use him in a deck as well. And in a game earlier, he discarded a Cerebro, which was huge. It won me that game. But, Black Bolt's a card that typically isn't seeing a whole lot of play. So being able to get to use some other cards, some niche cards, and try them out is pretty cool. I don't know how good they actually are here, but... it's nice to try them out. Here, you can see I'm trying to press, that hollow location, see if I can win that. I've got Black Bolt ready in hand to go. So, you can see here we got a plan. I was going to play Armor to kind of protect my She-Hulk, but if they had like a Shang-Chi or something like that, then She-Hulk was going to go down anyway. So I figured I might as well play Black Bolt to get me that cheap Stature coming up. And unfortunately, they didn't Shang-Chi or anything like that. They played their own She-Hulk. We ended up losing ours, but not the end of the world. As you can see here, we've still got to play. We're getting the Hood down. We are going to Shang-Chi their She-Hulk, and we're going to go ahead and drop a Killmonger as well. So we're trying to take, we're trying to put a little bit of power out there, make sure that we can kind of get ourselves a lane here and set us up for a nice turn 6. So we're able to take out their She-Hulk. We take out all the 1-drops. We're ahead in 2 lanes now. And as you can see, this hand kind of worked out very, very well. We've got a 1-cost Stature. We've got a Demon, Titania, Armor, and Goose that we can play. So we can play all of this on turn 6. Now we're just trying to decide, where do we play it? What's the best way to do it? Do we stack one location? Do we take over? Our opponent can see here that he's at a loss for words, and he conceded because we put ourselves in a really, really good position to win. So overall, I think it's fun to try these new cards. I'm not convinced that she's super, super strong or super, super easy to get her ability pulled off. Now, I know that I've seen some lists with Moon Knight, but again, you're kind of risking the chance that maybe you discard your own Stature. So obviously that's not ideal. I can see that as another way of getting her out, but how strong is it really? I do think that it's a cool card. It's a cool concept design. It feels really good when it works, but when it doesn't, your hand feels very, very clunky. Throughout these games, I probably went... Actually, let me look here. Yeah, we went just about 500. We were probably just a couple of, a game here or there. Our cubes stayed basically the same. So while I think that, she's definitely got potential, she's probably about a 50% win rate. At least for me with this deck. Maybe I need to do a little bit of tinkering. Maybe I'm trying to cram too many different win conditions into one deck. Definitely a possibility. But, I wanted to see, how she would do here. In this instance, we get a little bit lucky. The location actually is going to play our Black Bolt for us, allowing us to actually, be able to get her out on turn, on turn 6. And as you can see there, we discarded their She-Hulk, which was huge. Just absolutely huge. So Black Bolt has definitely brought a little bit more viability, a little bit more value than just, getting Stature out. He's discarded a Cerebro. He's discarded a, now here a She-Hulk. And again, our opponent has to retreat because we've went ahead and, we took away one of their win conditions. So overall, the deck did a little bit better than I thought it was going to do. Like I said, it's super fun when you can pull it off, but it doesn't always feel like you even got a shot or that it's even close. I think it's a really, really cool card design, and I hope that it gets a little bit more support, because right now I can only think of, the 2 ways to get her out, which is Moon Knight and Black Bolt. Otherwise, you're just relying on your opponent to play, some sort of a deck that either discards their own cards or has discard effects in it, and I don't like relying on my opponent to help me pull off my win conditions. So overall, I think that she's fun. I don't think that she is super, super strong. I don't think she's like top tier or anything like that. I think if you want to like mess around and maybe try and pull something cool off, maybe going with like a Moon Girl type deck and playing a couple of Statures, maybe the value will feel a little bit better there than otherwise. But it just doesn't seem consistent enough for her to actually make a real impact. So overall, I think it's she's a solid card, but not necessarily great, not necessarily game changing. I don't think she's a card that you build your deck around. If there's a deck that she fits in, that would make sense, but I don't see any types of decks where she would just naturally fit in. So, it's a little bit, she's a little bit iffy, but a fun card to at least try. This game here was a little bit wild. I thought I was gonna screw myself here a little bit by going with the Shuri Titania and them only playing the 1 card there. But, they had to hope Dracula was going to hit something good, and with playing a MODOK and, discarding a whole bunch of cards here, they get even more swarms in their hand. We also got lucky. that nothing, they didn't hit that Apocalypse. They didn't hit that that MODOK. It ended up hitting the Swarm, and we end up getting that dub here. So overall, I think she's a pretty cool card, but maybe not the best. All right, so if anyone has a really cool Stature deck or something like that, something that you've been able to put together that she has been able to find a bit of success, please put it in the comments below. I'd love to give it a shot. And if you've hung around this long, thank you. I do appreciate it. Go ahead and hit that subscribe and like button, as it really does help me out. But until next time, have some fun.